Good morning, Clarence Williams. This is another edition of Now and Then. This is uh, kind of an update on a previous uh, podcast that I did with Enough is Enough. And who has the courage? We already know who has the authority, but who has the courage to tell the president when enough is enough. I've stated uh, that the cabinet, those that has selected to be in his cabinet, whatever department it may be, that has his ear, that goes into his office, that talks to him and gives him an update daily on different events and help him run his administration. They have the initial uh, responsibility to say enough is enough. They will not do it. And then Congress, the second arm of our constitutional government, has the right to tell the president enough is enough. They won't do it. The House won't do it. The Senate won't do it. Why? Two very reasons. Number one is because they want to be reelected. They love their job and they want to stay in their job in Washington D.C. Number two, I firmly believe that they are benefiting from the chaos, from the turmoil, from the uncertainty of the market. All you have to do is invest into the market and then listen to the president. If you do that, you're going to make some money. And the president is making money, and his family is making money, and his company is making money. And I believe some say that that is the primary reason why the president is there, so that he and his family and his company can make money. And these congressmen and women, they are benefiting from that. And so then the third arm, which be the judicial system, has to then step in and then say enough is enough. Well, they are doing that. Different administrations, local, state administrations, attorney generals are suing the presidential administration because they believe that he is overstepping his presidential authority. They're doing is with tariffs. Tariffs is just disrupting everything and throwing everything in a tailwind. And now let me digress a little bit and say some say President Trump does not know what he's doing. I don't subscribe to that belief. I firmly believe that President Trump know exactly what he is doing. He has defied the odds of anyone that has voted against him in the past. So someone to say that he doesn't know what he's doing, then that brings into question your your understanding, your knowledge of what you are doing. He's winning. You can't deny that. He is winning on every front. Trump is winning. Some say, well, he has filed bankruptcy at least 4 times. He's winning. Bankruptcy is not a bad thing. Bankruptcy is a way to recalibrate your investments. That's bankruptcy. That's a court order, bankruptcy. And Trump know how to get out. Now he, screws a lot of people and a lot of companies when he's getting out, but that's the law. And he knows how to use. I don't deal with that too good. And so now here we are with the courts stepping in, and the courts are saying No. Now, little history. When Trump sent all of those uh, people the out of state the uh, to the uh, to the prisons in other countries, and then the court stepped in and say that you sent one man over there, I forget his name, and you have to bring him back. Still have not brought him back. And in fact, on an interview, openly said, no, we're not going to bring him back. Now, this is the United States Supreme Court. This is the highest court in the land. Trump is, in some opinions, defying the United States Supreme Court. This is the highest court in the land that no one defies. But President Trump is defying. But the courts are still saying, no, you are you're supposed to help get him back. And then there has been some victories concerning the tariffs and concerning immigrations. When the court say yes, you can do it, and then the court say under some circumstances you still have to give them due process of law. But it's not really the Supreme Court that's dealing with Trump. It is these lower courts that is really causing all of this problem with uh, with President Trump. In fact, the Supreme Court right now is deliberating or trying to make a decision on a lower court's decision to block any exportation of foreigners. Now, Trump administration did not go up there and say, "Do we have the right to export to get these people out of here?" That's not the issue. They went up there and said, "Do these lower courts have the right to tell us what we should do? And if they do, they only can tell us what to do on that particular case, not all over the United States of America. Their one decision based on their one case should not enjoin all of the other cases of the United States. Just that one case. And that's what the Supreme Court is deliberating right now. And then just this morning, the U.S. Court of International Trade, the courts, the international courts that adjudicate civil actions concerning international trade laws. That court said that Trump's April the 2nd Liberation Day trade that he put on all of the tariffs that he put on all of these countries, that it is unconstitutional, that he cannot do that. And they said he cannot do that because Trump used a uh, old law called the IEEPA, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Can't use that in order to put these tariffs on these countries. Now, his cabinet know that, but they didn't say anything. Congress knows that because Congress is the one that gave the presidency the limited power to do it in the first place. But they did not say anything, did not tell him he couldn't do that. He was using the wrong tool in order to do that. Trump is using any tool in his toolbox to do whatever he wants to do. But they didn't say anything. And so now uh, attorneys are now suing, going through the court system, and the court system is stepping up. And when I say the court system is stepping up, I'm talking about these lower federal court systems. I'm not talking about the Supreme Court because the jury is still out on exactly what they are going to do. Now, this big, beautiful bill that is going through the Senate right now, House has already passed it out of the House and sent it over to the Senate. There are so much in this bill, and I believe, and so many others believe, and says that this big bill is based on the revenue that is coming from the tariffs that Trump is imposing on all of these countries bringing imports into the United States. So look at all of the money that is going to be reimbursed, and that's what this court said. You have 10 days to reimburse these companies that have paid out all of these tariffs to this point. This money that Trump said these other countries is going to pay. No, it's the companies that are bringing their merchandise into the United States that are paying the tariffs to bring it in. 10%, 30%, whatever that percentage is, the companies in the United States has to pay that in order to unload those merchandise off of those big ships. And the companies, in turn, charge the consumer their portion of that particular item. So the cost of that item is raised based on the tariffs. And ultimately, the citizens of the United States pays the tariffs. Totally different. The presidency. But everyone else was telling us, no, you will be paying the tariffs. But we just knows he's the businessman. He is the businessman, but he is the businessman, as so people have said, for himself and for his family. Now, in order for you to take advantage of that, you just simply need to see it, notice what he's doing, and then simply get in line. Whatever Trump is doing, you do it. And you will get filthy rich if you have enough money to invest in it. Yeah. So then also the Supreme Court comes up. Now they have to make a decision as to whether the lower court's decision can stop President Trump across the United States, or does it just stop him in that local case? This is so significant because the question also is, can this U.S. Court of International Trade block Trump? Can they do it? That three-panel court, can they do it? So we are really headed for a great decision out of the Supreme Court. And how much does will their decision cover what is going on in the United States of America? Now, Trump can easily get out of this. He can enact Section 232 of the U.S. Expansion Act, or he can go to Section 103. He can still put tariffs on, but the tariff that he puts on will be limited. The reason why he went to this IEPA is because he can do it without restrictions. That's why he went there. Now, if he's going to do it, put tariffs, it's still limited tariffs. He only has so many days he can put that while he is justifying putting them there. That's why he went to the IEPA, because IEPA is because of a threat to the United States of America. And so, therefore, he has unlimited power. Now he's using it, as the courts has just ruled, unlawfully, but no one was questioning or no one was challenging his authority to use it. And so therefore he was using it. His cabinet did not challenge it. They knew he couldn't do it. His Congress could not do it. The House or the Senate, they did not do it because they did not want to lose their job. And so it is left to the court system. Now, I keep saying that the only recourse is the court system, but it's really not, because the people, we are a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We have the right to say no, to say enough is enough. The question is, do we have the willpower to say that? Do Republicans have that power, that willpower? You complaining and you in city halls right now, and you have meetings with your representatives in Congress, and you're arguing about everything under the sun. Do you have the power, have the willpower to go to that vote? Talking is one thing, but do you have that willpower to go to the ballot box and vote not for a Republican, but vote for a Democrat? Long as you keep voting for a Republican, Trump is going to keep doing what he's doing. Now, I don't know whether that registers. And then does the Democrats, do we have the power, have the willpower to now go to the midterm election and vote? We usually show up in groves for presidential elections every 4 years, but those midterm elections is the one that has power in Congress, is pretty much ruling the day. I mean, you can do a lot of damage in 2 years. Just think about President Trump. He's doing a lot of damage, and it hasn't been uh, two, you know, that first 100 days, he did so much damage. So what we are saying is that the court system right now is the only one that is saying no. And when I say court system, I'm talking about the lower courts. The jury is still out on the Supreme Court. And how is it that a president can defy the Supreme Court? This used to be, or at one time, this was the rallying cry for the Republicans, the conservative party. No, don't go liberal. Don't just do anything. We want lower government intervention into companies. Now he's telling Apple, you got to bring all of your manufacturing back to the United States, so we're going to slap a tariffs on you. You're telling NVIDIA this, and you can't sell to China. You are going around telling countries they must do stuff right now, when in the past, conservatism says we have to have lower government intervention. Totally upset the whole premise of conservatism. But because it's Donald Trump, the Republicans don't know what they believe now. They just in it for the ride, and they are getting it as long as they can get it, and hoping and trusting that when they go on the interview and go to their town hall meetings, the courts? No. Have yourself a great